drinking at 9 a.m. is drinking at 9 a.m. in your 20s is okay. Drinking at 9 a.m. in your 40s is difficult to get started.
Yeah.
Very small sips
Difficult
right
to
now.
get started or difficult to keep going all day?
Well, I mean, I can't go all day. I mean, if I got things I need to do, so I'm going to drink this and be done because I have things I want to get accomplished today. But like it's not tasting good in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have breakfast yet?
No, I had a cup of coffee, a little bit of water, and now we're drinking whiskey.
Podcast about bourbon and the ones who drink it. This is Bourbon Matters. Welcome to Bourbon Matters. I'm Jake.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Gold Eagle Jake.
And today we are talking about golf and its relationship to whiskey.
And its relationship to whiskey. It's just so we're all clear. It's 9:04 local time for me in the morning.
Yeah.
So I guess day drinking, a tradition unlike any other, with the Masters coming up.
Yeah. It is a fitting time to record a podcast about golf.
About golf.
And drink.
And yeah. Well, I don't think Gold Eagle Jake's drinking because he's probably more of an upstanding citizen than the rest of us.
I mean, I would, but I got places to drive and whatnot today to go drink. So
you know what?
I'm gonna
That's with the events of yesterday.
To places to go drink, so I'm gonna have some coffee right now.
With yesterday's events, that's a good idea to not drink and drive, or Ambien and drive.
Yes.
You would think if you had that much money, you could afford an Uber or a driver if you wanted to Amba drive.
It's not as much fun.
Poor Tiger. I was so excited to watch him in the Masters too. I don't know. I think he needs to go to rehab. So I think that's more important than him being in the Masters and probably getting his ass kicked by Scotty Scheffler.
I mean, it's funny how everyone's first reaction is, wait, again? Or is this old news?
Didn't this happen already?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next thing, he's going to get a divorce and his voicemails are going to leak.
Again?
We've never really talked about golf. What do you guys? I know Jake. I know you got started like last year, or have you golfed before that? Like we don't
like a year and a half ago. Yeah.
Why did you
tried in like early college, but my dad like absolutely hated it and was never good at it, so I never really had anybody to teach me. And like plus I like played baseball a lot, so I would like rotate the clubs when I would swing, and it was like dangerous for me to practice, so I just didn't.
Dangerous.
Yeah, like I couldn't hit the ball straight, so I would like hit the ball like perpendicular to the direction I was trying to hit it and stuff like that. So yeah, I just kind of gave up, and then my parents moved to Windstone in Barrington and joined the golf club. So I was like, I might as well, take some lessons and stuff, and started doing that. And yeah, I like it a lot.
What about you, Jake?
I got kind of like the opposite story of that. My dad was really, really good at golf, and he actually won like the Illinois Open one year and was on the verge of going on the pro tour, and just had some back injuries and whatnot that held him back. But he got me started on golf when I was really, really young. And I think I was just too young and didn't have like the patience for it. So I got burnt out by it by the time I was like 11 or 12. And my brother was a really good golfer. He stuck with it. So I wanted nothing to do with golf until I turned 21. And I was like, oh, you can have some beers on a nice day outside and swing a club. And so I've kind of been getting back into it over the recent years.
I started golfing, like no one in my family is an athlete. which if you've ever seen me do a sport, that makes a lot of sense. I started probably middle school taking lessons and things, and then golfed in high school. Not good at all. It was never good at golf. It was more just fun to hang out and a sport to do. But like as I got older, I started to enjoy it more, and then I started running into back issues, and now all the surgeries and stuff. And I go out a few times a year and I swing like an old man, but it's mainly to drink and then swing a golf club. I much prefer a scramble to anything else. We used to do a yearly scramble. I think we did it for about a dozen years on my birthday with all people from our tiny little high school. We'd have like 5 or 6 foursomes out there. And we had drinking rules. So for every 4 beers your team finished, you earned a team mulligan, which was fun because like you would be behind a group and they'd go up and hit a ball in the fairway. And then you'd see them all go back to the golf cart, shotgun a beer, and then go re-hit. So that was always fun. But since I've been in my late teens, early 20s, it's been mainly just an excuse to go out and drink. And I enjoy it. The back with the grandpa swing sucks, but we always take whiskey along in the golf bag. Sometimes some other things as well, just in case there's an injury. We want to have some fun on the course, so that's what we do. But if we look at PGA stuff, and even with Masters coming up right away here, there's not a ton of whiskey tie-ins with professional golf. We'll talk about a few of them. When I was doing research, basically what it boils down to is there's still countries that ban player tie-ins with alcohol for cultural reasons. It's mainly like, besides like the Phoenix Open and a couple other ones, there's not like, you're supposed to be professional on a golf course and they don't want drunks out there on the tournament for fans. Mm-hmm. So they don't promote a lot of alcohol things out there. There's hospitality tents, VIP tents, things like that, and some event sponsorships. But otherwise, like I said, we'll talk about the few that we were able to find. Why do you guys think that whiskey and golf, or alcohol and golf in general, aren't big?
Well, I think
even though we just talked about our favorite thing to do is get drunk and golf.
I think it's come a long way, and I think part of the reason why we don't see it more is because, and I don't know, when I think of like whiskey sponsorships, I think of golf first and foremost, because there are a few different tie-ins, and you don't see it too often in sports in general. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that until 1996, hard liquor ads were basically banned in any kind of TV commercial. So you never saw it before then. And then I think bourbon as a whole just wasn't really popular until the early 2000s, 2010, 2015, when it really started to become more of a thing in the US and widely accepted and popular. And also, these distilleries in Kentucky, they're kind of running like 5, 10 years, 20 years behind the rest of the country when it comes to like marketing and moving, forward with things like this. None of them had bars or restaurants at the distilleries until 5 years ago. So I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we don't see more partnerships. But yeah, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to say, something similar along the lines of like the marketing thing. Like, Jack and Woodford are like the 2 most successful brands at marketing. Like Woodford has the Derby, and like Woodford's really the only brand that I see TV commercials for, although they're like very few and far between. Buffalo Trace has started advertising a little bit more on like podcasts and stuff, which is interesting. But most brands I don't think really spend much advertising money outside of like liquor stores.
And I think part of that too is because, during COVID, when everything was booming, these distilleries were running out of aged whiskey that they had. They had no need or reason to market. We all know bourbon takes time to age. So if you don't have anything ready to sell, why are you going to make this big marketing push? So I think now we're going to start seeing it a lot more now that there is a bit of a surplus of whiskey out there. Instead of spending money on making more whiskey and expanding, it's time to start spending money on marketing in order to sell what you have.
Yeah, I think the only other thing that I'll add to that is, for like almost 50 years, like bourbon was kind of like the crappy alcohol in the US. Maybe not quite 50 years, but like it was never like the premium spirit, and like now it's, kind of the go-to for, I think, a lot of like, particularly our generation. So I think that shift, like you said, is going to help drive some more like marketing efforts and things like that. Because in the past, they're probably like, it's not worth spending marketing money when everybody thinks we're, garbage to begin with.
One thing, like, whenever I golf, I always have a cigar. Like, I'll always enjoy a cigar. Which is funny because I don't drink and smoke a lot together, but I don't mind a cigar and whiskey. Like, that's something I really enjoy. And I know a lot of people listening are probably the same way. And I know a lot of people that listen are also cigar people. And I thought it would make more sense, but then I started thinking about it. And maybe it's just the company that I keep. But I always take my little high camp flask with me on the golf course. But that being said, like when I'm golfing, like I drink the whiskey in my flask to every once in a while. I'll hit it pretty quick just to kind of keep the level that I want to be at a certain point. But otherwise, the majority of people I drink with, if we're out there, cart cocktails suck unless you're getting something super simple like a vodka lemonade, because most cart girls aren't great at mixing things. They don't have a lot of stuff to mix there. And when I think about it, it seems like, and that doesn't seem like, I know the people I golf with, it's way more beer or the stupid like High Noons, White Claws, things like that. So I think that's way more of what the average golfer that watches pro events does when they golf, is they're not drinking whiskey. I mean, look, when we enjoy golfing, it's a nice sunny day. There's not a lot of wind. It's hot, and whiskey's not a super refreshing drink compared to, or Jake's Dad Waters or things like that.
Yeah.
So if you're like targeting the average golfer when they're out golfing, they're not buying whiskey. I mean, they're going to have Jim Beam in the cart. They're going to have Jack Daniels in the cart, but you're not sipping neat whiskey out there while you're golfing and smoking a cigar. Like if you're out there to drink and golf, you're drinking refreshing things or shitty American light beer. Is why I think they don't do it a ton on golf for the average golfer. What do you guys think about that?
I know plenty of people that drink whiskey on the golf course, but no, I totally agree. I think 99% of people are drinking beer because it is definitely more refreshing on a hot day. Yeah, I'm just thinking about like the last couple of times I've been on the golf course. Like everyone's been drinking whiskey, but no, that's the people that I hang out with. So
yeah, I mean, but the majority, and yeah, I get it. And like I said, I always have my flask in my bag too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the majority of people out there aren't golfing with whiskey.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, you don't want to deal with having glassware or, drinking whiskey out of plastic cups. And so
drinking whiskey out of worse.
Beer's just the easy choice. So, but yeah, I going back to your original point, you don't see a ton of alcohol advertisements compared to other sports with golf, because I do think it's looked at as more of like a classier, if you will.
Yeah, I think that's probably a big component of it too, is that golf is supposed to kind of be like the classiest of the sports. Like beer's not particularly classy, and like I said, like whiskey hasn't been particularly classy other than Scotch. So like there's not really like an obvious fit, I'd say, for golf in terms of like an alcohol sponsorship.
Well, and let's be real here too. Like when we go golfing and we drink, no one's paying for beer at the clubhouse, right? Everyone's just sneaking their own shit in. And it's not, unless you have a good flask. And again, like at least with the flask that I have, it has a stainless steel drinking glass. Like it's not easy to smuggle a full glass bottle, especially when, if you're golfing with idiots like I do, bags are going to get untied from the back of the golf cart and eventually they're going to fall off when you go flying forward. Or I'm going to hit my bag with a golf club and I don't want to shatter a glass bottle that's on the inside and have whiskey everywhere. I think it just doesn't. It's so much easier to cut a hole in your bag, throw a case of beer in there, and a whole bunch of ice on top of it, and go golfing than it is to take whiskey things along. But I don't know. Wait, and hey, if you're listening and you have a way better way to sneak a lot of whiskey into a golf course, please comment and let me know. Because the majority of the things that they make for whiskey or for drinking on golf courses illegally are for beer or the slim cans. So
yeah, I mean, I do like the High Camp flask is a good idea.
Yeah, I wish High Camp would have eventually listened to our episode and sponsor us and give me a big one, because all I have is a small one that you gave me, which I love to death. But it's a perfect way to take a whiskey for one in at least.
Yeah, I bought the big one, and like I was thinking about like making like an old fashioned.
Yeah, but I don't know. That just doesn't sound like refreshing when I'm out golfing. Like,
well,
I don't know.
You ask the cart girl
if it's
for
freezing
cold,
yeah,
and then you pour it over ice.
I don't know. I still like, if I'm going to be pounding drinks, I want it to be light and refreshing and not pounding. Except just taking a shot of whiskey here and there along the course out of my flask and drinking the other shit works for me. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know I like to have like an ice cold gin and tonic or something like that if I'm gonna play and drink, is like I don't really, I can't drink a bunch of beer anymore. But like
that's
it also
age, right?
It is age, unfortunately. But like it does kind of suck having to like bring a cocktail around and driving with one, because like it spills all over the place and shit. Like
the biggest benefit of drinking whiskey on a golf course is you don't have to pee in the trees every other hole, compared to if you're slamming beer. Like that's the best thing about drinking hard alcohol.
Yeah, I would agree.
Jake, you smiled there. You're a guy that pisses.
I mean, I'm just thinking like I'm still pissing in the trees every couple of holes if I'm drinking whiskey.
Golf tie-ins that are official golf tie-ins. Of the PGA Tour, the weekly events, your whiskey sponsor is Bushmills Irish Whiskey, which I find a little interesting that it's, if we think of golf, we think of Scotland originally. I find it a little interesting, and it's not that Ireland's not a big golf country.
Ireland's definitely a big golf country, but yeah,
it's not that it's not, but it
is
It seems more like a missed opportunity for every Scotch brand, more so than like
like
else,
how Johnny Walker didn't take that is pretty impressive that Bushmills snuck away with it. And I don't know the last time I've had Bushmills. It's been a long time. They are the sponsor of the weekly events. The majors is done by Elijah Craig. And probably the biggest thing we've seen lately, the last couple of years, Elijah Craig has released a special bottle or a special batch for the Ryder Cup. I bought the one last year when I moved out here. I will say the 2025, which was toasted sugar maple staves and applewood staves, I did not enjoy. It's just a regular Elijah Craig at a 94 proof with some staves used in finishing. And it was like $7.65 or $70. Jake, do you know where that usually falls? Does that sound about right?
Somewhere in that range? I think we still have some of it. We've got 4 bottles left, and $69.99.
I didn't enjoy it. I just finished it, but I didn't enjoy it.
I enjoyed it, but I agree with your point that it shouldn't be as pricey as it is.
I mean, it's got a cool topper on it. It comes in a okay cardboard box, but
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing: a lot of people think the Elijah Craig stuff is like gimmicky, and they're just looking for extra sales with the tie-ins for the PGA stuff. I actually appreciate that they try to come out with something unique and different because they could have just slapped, a
right.
PGA logo on the bottle and just sold it as, most of the other companies when they do, like, okay, Woodford Derby bottle is this regular Woodford in there. And I get that it's like, artwork that's somebody actually hand painted, and people collect the different artwork on the bottle every year, but like, can't you do something a little bit different to the whiskey, like do some kind of unique finish or something, or a different proof point, just to get people who are interested more in the whiskey involved a little bit more. So like, I do enjoy that they're doing different whiskey in there and not just decorating the bottle differently.
But I mean, Woodford doesn't really charge any extra for that though.
They do though.
But it's a bigger bottle.
It is. It's a liter bottle, but you're paying at the cheapest $50 for that liter bottle versus 35 for a 750. So
You got it for $50 on your website.
yeah, that's what I said.
I thought you said 60.
No, 50. But
Oh, okay.
that's like, we had to buy 10 cases to get at a price to sell it at 50, and
I gotcha.
I've seen other places selling it for 60 or 65.
Gotcha. Yeah. So 37 for a 750 or 50 for a liter. So a little bit.
A little
extra.
bit more. Mm-hmm.
A little bit more.
You're not buying, unless you're having a derby party, you're not buying that bottle to drink it if you're a whiskey person, and most of our listeners. And there's plenty of people that collect the bottles every year. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. I kind of wish I would have gone back and got one and make a cool display out of having one from every year. But you're not really, there's no reason to buy it to drink unless you're having a derby party.
I've had a couple of them, and I've turned them into lamps. With someone. I do
That's
love
cool.
the label. Like I think when they come
No,
out
the
with that
labels are
label, they
cool.
always do a phenomenal job on the
The
label.
labels are super cool. And actually, what's interesting about the label this year is it was somebody local to us, like somebody in like Highwood or something, that did the label for this year's Derby.
Oh, really?
So that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's gimmicky that Elijah does the Ryder Cup. Like, they're a sponsor, so you're allowed to do it. It'd be gimmicky if someone else did a Ryder Cup or a golf tie-in that's not an official sponsor.
Yeah.
And they also do a regular small batch every year, which, I mean, I guess this could be argued that it's a little gimmicky, but they blend barrels from warehouses P, G, and A for that small batch.
That one's gimmicky.
But it's also the
one's
same
gimmicky as
price
fuck.
as the regular,
Yeah.
or it's maybe like $2, $3 more than the regular Elijah Craig. So if you're,
Yeah.
if you're a big golf fan, I could see that, because the bottle, they also have like the cool topper on the bottle. But a big missed opportunity on that is the topper. Like, what if they should have made that like pop out as a ball marker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would have
Yeah,
been
for sure.
super cool.
If the Ryder Cup topper popped out as a ball marker and it was like specific to where the Ryder Cup event was at every year, I would pay the price for that bottle and not complain. Especially if it was magnetic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you know what? I might try and pop that insert out.
Do we even know what they're doing this year?
I haven't looked it up
I
yet.
haven't heard
Yeah, I
yet.
haven't either.
I don't know if they've announced because the Ryder Cup's still quite a ways away.
Yeah. I'm sure they know what they're doing though.
Yeah, obviously. They knew 3 years ago what they did. So Elijah Craig is probably the biggest bourbon. They're the official bourbon and rye of the PGA. But again, most of this advertising you're going to see is for the majors for them, which is what the majority of the casual golf fan watches. Also with Elijah Craig, golfer Max Homa did a barrel pick with them. Don't know anything about if it was good or not, or why Max Homa and not someone a little bit higher on towards the top of the world golf
Probably a
rankings.
big bourbon guy, I would assume.
Probably knew somebody. And then for the British Open, you get Loch Lomond as a sponsor. But really, that's about it.
They also
there's some
come
other
out
things
with a different bottle every year for the British Open. And they kind of do the same thing where they come out with like a everyday $35 bottle, and then they come out with a super premium, like $200-$300 bottle.
Gotcha. 200 to 300 super premium. Jesus.
The last year for the
Scotch pricing is different.
I mean, it was like this was a 25 year, or no, it was like a 20. It was 20 or 25 year, and it was $300 a bottle, and it was actually really good.
Better be.
Yeah,
That price point. Yeah, so we've seen, like, over the last couple of years, we've seen more of a shift with it on whiskey. Jake, Gold Eagle Jake, it sounds like you think we're going to be seeing more advertising going towards golf events.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, not just golf specifically, but I think we have been. I know I've been seeing a lot more advertising for bourbon in the last couple of years than I ever had before. And I do think because we're in a little bit of a surplus, it's time to start shifting focus into more marketing tactics instead of expanding and building new stills and rig houses.
Gotcha. It'll be interesting. So I don't know all the cultural rules of it at all. But obviously, over the last few years, we have the PGA and we have LIV for golf. I know Saudi Arabia is very limited on alcohol and advertising. That could be like a big thing considering that PGA and LIV have officially merged, but unofficially haven't changed a damn thing on the sport at all yet. But if Saudi starts getting more into the PGA, it could become a bigger issue, and especially if you're going to have events overseas. In the Middle East like that, you're not going to see any alcohol advertising at all. So it could be interesting. Or, maybe Elijah Craig could be like, "Hey, we're just going to sell this in the States," and have a special like.
Well, that's I think what's going on with F1, I think, is owned by somebody from the Middle East, or at least
I'm sure with the amount of money, and
they have a heavy stake in it. And like all of the alcohol advertising they have are NA beers. But like there are, like, McLaren has a partnership with Jack Daniels, but I don't think Jack is on the car anywhere. They just have like advertising tie-ins, and like Jack releases a McLaren bottle like once a year or something like that. Probably mostly in the US and probably UK, but I think that's probably what we'll see more of, like those, like they're official but like unofficial kind of partnerships that aren't really like displayed anywhere, but like in the appropriate markets like it is.
And I'm pretty sure with PGA it's pretty similar as well, because like golfers are they're sponsored everywhere. But you'll never see a alcohol brand sponsorship on a PGA golfer's hat or shirt or things like that.
Which like that's a little surprising to me.
I think that kind of falls more into the cultural side of things though too.
It could, yeah.
Especially if they're getting big viewership in the Middle East, which obviously golf has become very big for the Saudis and everyone else in the region that has a lot of money, Qatar, UAE, things like that. So I don't know. I think it's a tricky slope. Or a slippery slope. I don't think we'll see a ton more. Like, I think we'll see Elijah Craig keep doing what they're doing. I don't. Obviously, they're the whiskey sponsor for the majors. so that we're not going to see other brands getting in. I just don't know if we'll ever see in the near future, within the next 10 years, a big shift with alcohol, like well-known alcohol sponsorships in golf. I still think we're quite a ways away from that. But Jake, I do agree. I think we're going to see a big shift in marketing from the whiskey companies. I just don't know if golf will be their go-to with it being so international.
Yeah, I feel like there's more opportunity with football, basketball, baseball. I mean, at least in the U.S.
I mean, baseball's kind of owned by beer.
Yeah, I mean, baseball is for sure, but I think isn't. I thought Jack or Jim has like an NBA partnership.
I mean, Beam
thought-
has a huge like Cubs partnership,
Yeah,
like Beam
yeah, I know
makers.
they've got that. I could have sworn
I
that
think,
somebody had an NBA like contract too, but I could be wrong, or it was a while ago.
I mean, Jack sounds about right. There was Jack. They came out with like a bunch of NBA labels for Jack Daniels last year. But no, I think you'll see it more in other sports than golf, just because it is more, focused in the U.S. and bourbon is our spirit here. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and maybe this is because I wasn't paying attention as much, but I've also heard that there's just a lot more, marketing dollars going into bourbon than there ever was. We used to pretty much just only see beer and vodka, Kettle One, the big players in that scene all have pretty big partnerships with different sports. Diageo's got a lot of sports partnerships.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bigger international push for bourbon too, just because of the surpluses that exist, and like they got to offload it somewhere, and the international market I think is the biggest potential for growth compared to domestic anyway.
Pending tariffs and
Yeah, I was gonna say,
how many
so,
other
yeah.
countries don't like the U.S. right now.
Yeah,
There's plenty of I mean, it's not like Ireland and Scotland aren't going through the same thing the U.S. is with surpluses as well too. They're got just as much as we do and as much shutdown. So I think those will probably do they'll be pushing international too. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird because golf seems more of a, like if I'm sitting down and watching golf, I'm definitely drinking whiskey. But if I'm out playing golf, I'm not. Except besides. Yeah. And to be fair, like I don't take good whiskey to golf because it's usually just a quick shot here or there. So it's usually why I have a bottle of Woodford or something on my shelf. So, but, yeah. What else? I mean, any other? It's just not big, but maybe Tigers just go full into it, get an Ambien sponsorship. Just lean into it at a certain point, right? Like how much more money can the guy make?
Jack Daniels logo on his shirt.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, I would say just lean into it at this point.
But how does John Daly not have a alcohol sponsor?
Well, he's not a pro golfer really anymore. He's
I know,
just
but he could. Somebody would still pay him to put their logo on his shirt. And
he came out with some cocktails, some canned cocktails.
Yeah, the John Daly is the alcoholic Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, he does have. He did come to Gold Eagle 15 years ago to launch his bottled Arnold Palmer John Daly drink and sign those. So I've got a signed bottle somewhere in my house.
Dude is the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah,
just I don't know if you guys watch like YouTube stuff of John Daly, but he doesn't even wear shoes anymore on the golf course. He's just walking barefoot. He's learned to chip and putt one-handed so he can keep a beer in his other hand. The guy's just a legend. I'm sure. He just drink. I forget what beer he drinks. He always drinks. Is it Miller? I think it might be Miller Lite. I don't know. But he's always got a beer in his hand. But John Daly's sponsorship is Hooters, right? He's probably the reason Hooters is still alive somehow.
Okay, so just doing a little more research while we're talking here. And Buffalo Trace is the official partner of the BMW PGA Championship, and they also partner with UK tournaments, which is interesting.
Okay.
And they do have a pretty decent international market and following.
Yeah. I was trying to find like famous cocktails at some of the majors and other events, and like they don't even have too much of those. You know, the big thing at the Masters, there's like a special beer made for the Masters. What was that? I just had that. But
Yeah,
like other than
there's
I mean,
nothing like the mint julep at the Derby or something.
right,
like that,
right. You're not going to see things like that with golf. Yeah, it's
The Elijah Craig Mulligan is the official cocktail of all the Elijah Craig golf events.
What is that?
I just read it somewhere. It's like green tea, Elijah Craig. Where did this go? Oh, yeah, bourbon, lemonade, and green tea.
No, so it's an Arnold
So
Palmer.
it's basically an Arnold Palmer.
yeah.
So everything revolves back to the Arnold Palmer.
Yeah. Makes
Buffalo
sense.
Trace also has a partnership with Bettinardi Golf, where they're producing a premium precision milled putter with wood inserts from actual Buffalo Trace barrels. There you go, Dan.
How much does that cost?
Probably 400 minimum.
Something dumb.
All right,
It's
now we
definitely
gotta
not worth it.
go look it up.
I mean, at least like what the $1,000 mint julep or whatever they have, or is it the $100 mint julep they serve at the Derby?
It's
At least $1,000, but at least a lot of that's a charity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who makes that BT putter?
Bettinardi, I'm looking it up right now. Well, apparently they're very limited
God,
and out of stock.
shocker.
But they're listed on eBay for $1,500.
That's like, what was it? There's some work boot brand that partnered with Buffalo Trace. Like you can get work boots with like a thin layer of wood from a Pappy Van Winkle barrel stave in the shoe, in the sole of the shoe. I'm like,
Yeah, I think it was. Is it Red Wings?
I can't remember if it was Red Wing or it's a
Or yeah, but
like
yeah,
the biggest
I saw
gimmicky
that.
things you can do. It's like you pay like an extra $100 for a sliver of wood. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
they're
don't know.
not cheap.
Yeah, I don't think golf is going to be prime for bourbon. Even though the majority of the top rated golfers in the world are American, it's just too international, I think. And especially if Middle East money keeps getting poured into it, it's going to be even harder and harder. So,
Yeah, I mean, I do think we'll see more in the U.S. at least, maybe like the U.K. But yeah, other places I think it gets more difficult.
yeah. All right. Well, if anyone has good ideas of how to sneak a lot of whiskey into their golf bag without having to have a glass bottle, please let me know. I'm all ears. I'm a creative person, but I haven't gotten super creative on this yet. So I'm excited to hear creative answers.
You gotta get a box wine bag, drain out the
Slap the
box
bag.
wine.
Slap the bag with whiskey. Oh. Jake, you laugh like you've done that before. Jake, I know you said you had a couple 2025 Ryder Cup bottles left, and it'll probably be a bit to the 2026 ones come out. If people want to get some of those or other whiskey products, where's the best place to do that at?
Come visit us in Libertyville at 255 Peterson Road, or just check us out online at goldeaglewine.com. Follow us on Instagram at Gold Eagle Wine. Follow us on Facebook at Gold Eagle Spirits.
Awesome. And Jake, where can people find our podcast, watch us, things like that?
Yeah, check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Bourbon Matters. Listen to us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Watch us on Spotify and YouTube.
Awesome. All right. Well, enjoy the Masters coming up. Don't take Ambien and drive and roll your vehicle over like other professional golfers do. However, it's probably the closest I could ever become to being Tiger Woods.
Do you know
So
what
there's
kind of
always
car
that.
he was driving?
It was a big SUV.
Oh,
Like I don't know.
it wasn't even a fun car.
No, it was.
I take back everything I said.
Yeah. He's
I'm not
got
in
to be
support of it
careful.
anymore.
He's not too far away from Paul Walkering himself, and we don't want that to happen to Tiger. So I think anybody that's a golf fan can go back to, was it like 2019 when he won his last major and like everyone was tuning in and the gallery was following him like everywhere. Like probably one of my most fun moments of golf in the last bit. But Tiger gets some help. All right, guys. It is a beautiful Saturday out where it's almost 10 o'clock for me and I'm already partly buzzed. So let's enjoy a good Saturday.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.